Well, it certainly was a windy, rainy day in Wellington in day one of the test match here, the first test between India and New Zealand. Before we could get to the final session of the day, the rain came down during the tea break, and it was called early with that final session just going forward as the umpires decided that play was no longer possible, and Team India at that stage were 122 for 5 as day one came to an end. There you go, great inroads that were made by New Zealand, who in fact had won the toss, elected to put India into bat first. Of course, the experience of players like Tim Southee and Trent Bolt, but for Kyle Jamieson making his debut to pick up 3 wickets, that to one of Virat Kohli. Ajinkya Rahane batting unbeaten on 38, along with Rishabh Pant as it stumps. Thank you so much for joining us here on Match Point with Sanjay Manjrekar and Scott Styris. Scott Styris is always smiling, but he'd be smiling a little more at the end of day one here. Won the toss, great toss to win. Bowlers put the Indian batsmen in, get them under pressure. Just from the morning session, you could see that it was going New Zealand's way.
It's the part of the game I held my breath the most, was at the toss, because I felt if New Zealand had any chance of winning this game, they had to win the toss, because we all know that you bowl first and you get helpful conditions. So really delighted to see that they did win the toss and they bowled so well in that first session.
Tough conditions, understandably, as well. You know, we had that 9th opening pair for India that we've seen since 2018. Then to lose Cheteshwar Pujara, Hanuma Vihari, the test specialist, and the big wicket of Virat Kohli.
Yeah, so a big day for New Zealand. Lucky with the toss, because at Wellington, even before the coin actually falls on the ground, they say we want to field first, and Virat would have done the same. I thought Mayank Agarwal applied himself. Some of them tried to, but the ball got the better of them, and there are a couple of loose shots as well. So India in a slightly weaker position, but the bowling attack that India has given them hope.
That's the thing what makes it really exciting, isn't it? Both the bowling attacks, and you speak of the debutant, like someone like Kyle Jamieson. What a dream debut. That too, to pick up the wicket of Virat Kohli, using his height to advantage to be able to set that up as well.
Exactly, 6'8", he gets good bounce. He's the one bowler who you wouldn't have expected at the start of the match to perhaps be the most lethal of the black cap bowlers, but he was. He outshone both Tim Southee and Trent Bolt, who was coming back from an injury. And it was this type of performance which I think New Zealand needed at that time too, because India had done well to get past, say, the first hour, with the exception of the loss of Prithvi Shaw. But I thought Jamieson, with the bounce and the movement he got, he really did perform, which is exactly what his skipper would have needed.
The one thing is, Sanjay, we always love your analysis because you answer those hard questions. And the hard questions is now Virat Kohli on this tour across the formats has not got the kind of runs we expect from Virat Kohli, the batsman.
Yeah, if you apply the Virat Kohli standards of batting and scores, it's not been, you can see that 8 innings, average of 22.8. But I'm going to say the typical cliche thing is just one of those things. I start worrying about a lean patch when it starts affecting the self-confidence of an individual, and that's a long time, long distance away from current sort of lean phase that he has. Just one of the things. Today especially, I thought he just took his eyes off the ball that was full, got a little preoccupied with the short stuff, so that was excellent bowling and got the best of King Kohli. So that was, I think, good bowling more than bad batting.
I really enjoyed both of your gentlemen, especially you, Scotty, what you said about Ajinkya Rahane, just the space that he's in, because he will also now have to play a very crucial role for India on day 2.
Well, he's got a record, hasn't he, that suggests his play overseas is of a high quality. The reason for that is technique lends itself to success in these sorts of countries and conditions. And because of the fact the ball was moving around, you had to let the ball come to you. You had to play the ball late, under your eyes, and let your bat do the timing for you rather than going after the bowling. And I thought he did that expertly, and he didn't look like he was going to get out at all. New Zealand couldn't find a way to get past him on the outside edge. He just looked in total control. Footwork was great. Everything about Rahane breeds success in these conditions, and I love that from him. India need a lot more from him tomorrow.
Well, the fact is that you still do have someone like Ravichandran Ashwin to come into bat, but in a sense, this is kind of the last recognized batting pair, and that's where Rishabh Pant now, as you said, he's a batsman, wicketkeeper in your assessment. He's got to play a crucial role as well.
I like the way he's applied himself. It seems like he wants to get runs. In a way, time also is running out because he's been around for a while now. Runs not coming, not at the test level. With Ridhiman sitting outside, there's always pressure of a better keeper coming in. I like the application. He'll find his own way of getting runs. It's something that we can't predict or advise. Rishabh Pant has to find it himself because he's got unorthodox ways of getting runs. I just love the application, and that sort of makes me feel a little optimistic about Rishabh Pant firing tomorrow.
And that's just the thing about tomorrow. Look, it was windy and rainy today. You're expecting day to have winds of up to 100 kmph. We saw pretty much everything flying all over the ground today. So the different challenges it will pose to, I guess, the batsmen, and in a sense, how would you use your bowlers?
Well, that's the thing. It is a challenge for both batsmen and bowlers. Bowlers, because if you're bowling into the breeze, you have no rhythm in your run-up. And you often hear bowlers, don't you, talk about the rhythm they have in their bowling. With the wind, it can play a major part against you in that sense. You have to find a way to still hit the crease and bowl with purpose, otherwise it becomes easy for the batsman hitting down breeze. For a batsman, it's easy to be toppled over, lose your balance side to side, lift your bat up and it goes in funny directions. So you have to find a way to succeed with the breeze. And I believe you have to widen your stance to give you a bigger base from which to start with, to allow you the wind to have to work a lot harder to knock you over. So it'll be tough for both teams, but New Zealand, with the experience they have in playing in Wellington, you'd expect them anyway to have the edge in that sense through the experiences they've gained.
So India resume 122 for 5 now here. It's expected to be again another testing morning session. What are you looking for, Sanjay? Are you looking just in terms of the runs you want to put on the board, or you're looking at the sessions that you want to be able to survive through?
Survive to begin with. I think Ajinkya Rahane has found his way of getting runs, which is a bit like how Pujara gets his runs. I think he's joined the Pujara school of batsmanship because it was all defense. Rishabh Pant, as I've said before, will find his own way of getting runs. But I see a clarity of mind with Ajinkya Rahane, so that gives me again some faith that these two might hang around a little longer. But even if they don't get too many, and a scenario emerges where Rishabh Pant plays with the tail ender, then that actually frees him up. And who knows, India get 250, 260, the kind of bowling attack that they have. We've got a match on our hands where India might start to dominate very early, earlier than expected, despite this kind of performance.
Match on. That's something we'd be looking forward to. What are the expressions going to be like for both Scott Styris and Sanjay Manjrekar tomorrow on day 2? You're just going to have to tune in to find out. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on Matchpoint. We look forward to your company next time. Bye for now.
Thank you.